Welcome to the DFL Report, everyone. I'm Matt Winkler, and thank you for joining us here on the DFL Network, streaming exclusively on the original DFL channel on YouTube. Today's programming is brought to you by Clicky Sports, the official draft board of the DFL. We here at the DFL Network are very excited to bring you the draft recap overview of the recent Dynasty Football League draft and how our experts rated each draft team's performance. With the worst draft in the DFL, Running Back Lives Matter, a team with a name that screams running back enthusiast, had the privilege of picking sixth in the Dynasty Football League. With 20 rounds to work their magic, they managed to assemble a team that left the draft grade machine unimpressed, earning them a dismal D-. But fear not, for this team is projected to achieve greatness. With a record of 3-11 and an 8th place finish, clearly they're aiming for the stars. In an attempt to prove that running backs do indeed matter, Running Backs Live made some interesting choices. Their best pick was Devonta Smith, who was snapped up at 27, beating their ADP of 29. Kudos to them for spotting the hitting gem. However, they also made a questionable decision by selecting Danny Jones at number 7, a player with an ADP of 95. Maybe they know something we don't. To add to the excitement, Running Back Lives Matter decided to triple down on a single team, drafting Matt Crosby, Jacoby Myers, and Devontae Adams from the same squad. Talk about putting all your eggs in one basket. With their bye week at 13 and a scheduled difficulty ranked 6th toughest, Running Backs Lives Matters will surely keep us entertained throughout the season. Let's see if their team lives up to the hype. In the Dynasty Football League draft, Anthony D's team had the unfortunate privilege of selecting 4th overall. With a draft grade of a D- and a projected finish of 10th, it's safe to say that things didn't go as planned. The team's projected record of 1-13 and projected points total of 1741 leaves little room for optimism. Additionally, their schedule difficulty ranked as 3rd toughest out of 10 teams, making their path for victory even more challenging. One highlight of the draft was Anthony D's team's best pick, where they managed to snag Amari Cooper at 59th, despite an ADP of 42. However, this glimmer of hope was overshadowed by their worst pick, selecting Kenny Pickett at 22 with an ADP of 122. It seems like the team may have been playing a different game altogether. To add insult to injury, they ended up drafting 3 players from the same team: Garrett Wilson, New York Jets defense, and Bryce Hall. Perhaps they were hoping for some sort of synergy, but more likely they just weren't paying attention. In a draft that left analysts scratching their heads, Beast Mode managed to secure a solid D grade, signaling a future filled with disappointment and regret. With a projected of 3-11 and an 8th place finish, it's safe to say that Beast Mode is destined for mediocrity. Despite having the first pick of the DFL order, they failed to capitalize on their early position and instead opted for questionable choices throughout the 20 rounds. One shining moment for Beast Mode came with their first pick, their best pick of the draft, selecting Travis Estienne Jr. at 18, a steal considering his ADP of 27. However, any glimmer of hope was quickly extinguished with their worst pick at 38, where they reached for the stars and Kenneth Gainwell, who had an ADP of 124. To make matters worse, Beast Mode decided to put all their eggs in one basket by drafting 4 players from the same team: Dak Prescott, Brendan Cooks, Michael Gallup, and the Dallas Cowgirls defense. Perhaps they're hoping for some kind of team collaboration, but it's more likely they'll be left with a bunch of players on a bye week 9 and a team chemistry that resembles a dumpster fire. In the DFL, the Drew Crew found themselves in the middle of the pack with the 3rd pick of the draft order. With 20 rounds to fill their roster, they managed to secure a D+ draft grade, which is like getting a participation trophy for just showing up. Projected to finish 7th, it seems the Drew Crew is destined for mediocrity, but hey, at least they're not in last place. While the Drew Crew did have a couple of bright spots in their draft, such as snagging David Njoku at the pick 68, beating out his ADP of 96. They also made some questionable choices. The worst pick of the draft goes to the selection of Jimmy Garoppolo at 13, way ahead of his ADP of 119. Talk about reaching for the stars. Additionally, the Drew crew decided to go all in on a single team, drafting not one, not two, but three players from the same team. It's like they're trying to monopolize the team's success, but we all know that rarely worked out in fantasy football. Maybe they're hoping for some sort of secret alliance, or maybe they just really like the team's colors. Either way, it's a bold strategy, bro. Let's see if it pays off for them. In the Dynasty Football League, the Meatballs had an unfortunate luck of drafting 7th in the draft order. With the 20 round to work with, they managed to assemble a team that earned them a lackluster D-plus draft grade. The experts predict a projected finish of 6th place, which is about as exciting as any meatball without any sauce. Despite their best effort, the Meatballs couldn't avoid making a few questionable picks, including selecting Bryce Young at the 9th spot, a player who had an ADP of 123. It seemed they were aiming for the worst pick of the draft award, and they hit the bullseye. On the bright spot, the Meatballs did manage to salvage some pride with their best pick of the draft. They snagged Christian Kirk at the 69th spot, a player with an ADP of 88. It's a small victory, but it's like finding a meatball in a bowl of spaghetti. Unfortunately, this lone bright spot couldn't save them from the harsh reality of their projected record, a mediocre 7-7. With the 10th toughest schedule in the league, they have to bring their A game to avoid being devoured by the competition. Let's hope the Meatballs can add some extra spice to their performance, because right now they're looking more like plain old meatloaf. In the Dynasty Football League draft, Herb's Tacos had the privilege of picking 5th out of the 10 teams. With 20 rounds to fill their rosters, they managed to secure a C-plus draft grade. While their projected record of 8-6 and a 5th place finish may not be the most impressive, it's clear they have some potential. With the projected point total of 1824, they'll need to bring their A game to overcome the 5th toughest schedule in the league. Herb's Tacos made some interesting choices during their draft. Their best pick was DeAndre Hopkins, who was drafted at 66, beating their ADP of 61. However, they stumbled with the worst pick, selecting Kirk Cousins at 6, far above their ADP of 116. One notable strategy was drafting 3 players from the same squad: Dalton Canted, Damian Harris, and Dawson Knox. It remains to be seen if the team can come together and prove they're more than just a catchy name. In the depths of the Dynasty Football League draft, the Gotham Knights emerged with a B- grade, leaving them with a glimmer of hope. With the 2nd pick in the draft order, they had the chance to assemble a formidable team, but alas, their projected finish of 4th suggests they may have missed the mark. Despite their valiant efforts, the Knights are projected to achieve a record of 9-5, which may not be enough to secure a playoff spot. With their projected points total of 1828, they'll need to summon their inner superhero to overcome the 8th toughest schedule in the league. While the Gotham Knights may not have struck gold with every pick, they did manage to unearth a hidden gem with the 77th spot. They snagged Chris Godwin, defying the odds as their ADP was 76. A stroke of luck in the darkness of the draft. However, not every pick was a shining success. The Knights stumbled upon a questionable choice at the 37th pick, selecting Brock Purdy, whose ADP was a lowly 126. Perhaps they saw something others didn't, or perhaps they were momentarily blinded by the bat signal. Only time will tell if this bold move will pay off for the Gotham Knights. In the DFL draft, the Cold Cut Mafia made their presence known despite picking 8th in the draft order. With 20 rounds to work their magic, they managed to secure a solid B-plus draft grade. Their projected record of 10-4 and a 3rd place finish has other teams quaking in their deli. It seemed like the Cold Cut Mafia is ready to make their mark on the league. While the draft had its ups and downs, the Cold Cop Mafia showed their prowess with some savvy picks. Their best pick of the draft was DJ Moore, who was snagged at 70 despite having an ADP of 57. Talk about finding a hidden slice of cheese. However, not every pick was a winner, as Tua Tagovailoa was chosen at 10, way above their ADP of 94. But hey, sometimes you have to take a risk to make a name for yourself. With 3 players from the same team on their roster, the Cold Cut Mafia has clearly put all their lunch meats in one basket. Let's hope that basket is sturdy enough to carry them to victory. Grandma Ding Ding Sauce has cooked up a draft for the ages in the Dynasty Football League. With a draft grade of an A+ and a projected finish of first place, they're poised to leave their competition saucy and satisfied. Despite picking 10th in the draft order, they managed to spice things up by selecting Gabe Davis at 96, a steal considering his ADP of 101. Talk about adding some flavor to the team. While Grandma Ding Ding Sauce draft was mostly delicious, there was one questionable choice that left a sour taste in everyone's mouth. They reached for Jared Goff at 16, who had an ADP of 127. Perhaps they were trying to surprise the league with an unexpected ingredient, but it might not have been their best move. However, Grandma Ding Ding Sauce made up for it by adding a trio of players from the same team: Derek Carr, Jamal Williams, and Michael Thomas. Looks like they're banking on some serious team chemistry, or maybe they just really love the team sauce. In a league filled with 10 teams, Daddy's Little Pumpkin took the coveted first draft spot and made the most of it, earning an impressive A+ draft grade. With 20 rounds to work their patch, they carefully selected a roster that will potentially wreak havoc on their competition. Projected to finish with the second best record in the league at 11-3, this team is ready to carve their way to victory. While the schedule may be tough, with the second toughest difficulty out of 10 teams, Daddy's Little Pumpkins aren't afraid of a little challenge. They made some shrewd moves, snagging James Conner at pick 61, well below his ADP of 57. However, not every pick was pumpkin perfect choice. Their worst pick came at the very beginning, selecting Russell Wilson at pick 1, despite having an ADP of 131. But hey, the best pumpkin patch have a few rotten gourds. All in all, Daddy's Little Pumpkins are poised to squash the competition and leave their opponents feeling gorgeous. Well, there you have it, all you DFLers. Seems like our experts here at the DFL Network have their opinion of the DFL draft. Can you tell who they favored, or can you really see who they disliked entirely? Guess the only way to find out if they're right is to let the season unfold and see who can navigate the open waters of fantasy football without sinking into the toilet. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We appreciate all the comments and feedback, so please drop us a line in the comment sections below. Also, be sure to subscribe to the original DFL channel on YouTube for all our content and hit the alert button to get future notifications from us.